Okay, so as you can see, these are a lot of the very basic items I would use, and I would also have them stored all together in one place, so save you time, energy and stress when you come to get them the very next time you want to use them. So I've made this myself, this box here, and if you click the eye at the top of the page, it will show you a few other videos I've done, one of them being how I made this box. So easy. It took 5 minutes to cut the top lid off, sellotape the ends over and cover it with a cellophane and cling film, but either one would do. So this is my huge box. I need a box, and you will need a box that is at least 20 inches by 18 or 24 by 20, which is what I have here, 24 by 20, if I want to use all the canvases at my disposal. So whether I use a 16-inch long one or a 20-inch long one, or even a 12-inch pound store one, this will be ideal to use. And with it being covered in cling film or foil or a plastic covering of your choice, then it will last slightly longer, as the even thick cardboard will tear, and it only lasts 1 or 2 pours. Okay, so the next thing after you have your enclosed box, of course I use foil, and I use this to protect my surfaces or cover a tree, or any surface. It's ideal to put under your hole. I do always have my gloves with some Lifetime ones at the cheap £4 store, or the disposable ones, as acrylic paints are extremely hard to get off. You will find it extremely difficult to get off your clothes, even if you have the best, clothes cleaner around, or the best stain remover. I also picked just one of these from the pound store or thrift store, and it is a level, because when I started I didn't have a spirit level like this. So what happened was, after a little time, even minutes, the paint on your canvas would slightly tilt one way or another, and you can't see that happening sometimes. It's only until an hour later you notice half of your beautiful creation has slid all over, and it is no longer on your canvas anymore. So yes, try using a spirit level and checking that your surface is level. This is the most important thing before you start, and then when you come to store that painting. Now if you are really lucky, unlike me, and you have plenty of places to store your paintings on a very level surface. That's wonderful, because that is what you need. Whereas I've only got 1 or 2 places in this wibbly wobbly house and grounds that are actually level with the spirit level. It would be nice to have a little more space while this one is drying. Then you can still do another one. But yes, very important tip. Your surface must be level. So important. Okay. I did use a few cups from the house, and these are paper cups, so good for recycling. Once you wash them out afterwards. This is a very hard lifetime plastic cup, which was already in my house. So if you want to support the environment, use recyclable materials whenever possible, which leads me on to the little wooden popsicle or lolly sticks. Excuse that noise in the background, it is my beautiful black cat Sooty, who is having fun in the sun to one side of me. I'll show you a photo of him later. There is 2 sizes that I use, the large one and the very slim one, and I like the large one best. It gives a better mix and is a lot quicker. I have seen some people use a food mixer to mix the paint with 1 prong on the food mixer, which seems to work for them. I do prefer to check my consistency with the lolly stick, and it takes the same amount of time. When I did demonstrate that to myself a little while ago. The next thing I like to have on hand is plastic covering for you can get these from the pound shop again. It protects your clothes, or I do have clothes I use for painting, but this protects everything that I'm wearing. It's a rain cover. It covers me from tip to toe, and then obviously some household wipes for when you want to wipe hands or gloves, and your tools with afterwards. I have purchased this, being in the UK. This is not easy to come across unless you locate this online, which I did from Amazon. There are a few places which I'll put the link in for you, because this is not very cheap, but it lasts so long. And if you want cells, you need this. It is a fluid paint extender. It also helps, once the paint dries, to be a nice glossy smoother finish. Gives it a neater look, helps it last a long time. If you want to use these paintings to hang up, you can be confident and reassured to know that if you use a paint extender and conditioner, that your painting should last a little longer than if you didn't have a painting medium in it. Okay, some people use Liquitex as well. I've used both, getting the same results, but this is by far my favourite. Okay, now any hardware store, any local hardware store will have silicone oil. It's like a treadmill oil, or people use it on car and door hinges. People use it on bicycle wheels, and this is what is going to help that amazing fluid look. It brings up lots of little cells from underneath the heavy paint. It'll pop them up to the surface if you use it in the right way. Okay, then going on to paints. Some people use the most expensive heavy bodied paints. Just get your hands on whatever you can. Thrift store, pound store, dollar store, local craft stores, cheap craft stores. I do. I have Crawford and Black acrylic paint from the UK. 200 mils for £2. 100 mils for £2 when it's on offer. Usually this is £4, and PBO is such a good quality acrylic. So I get these when I'm on offer, and that's the best time to buy them. Get them in when they are on offer. Okay, so this is a full tub already mixed. I'm going to demonstrate one mix for you. And then the last thing is a jug of water. People use the consistencies, equation, water, medium, and the acrylic paint, 1, 2, 3, and then with a drop of that in the coloured paint only, not your white. So here we go. I will demonstrate now. This is one of the very small little tea time party cups. Let me demonstrate this for you. So I would use, this is 100ml, and I will use the full 100ml. I'm just going to get my gloves on here. Sometimes at the end of my painting I will look down and there are my hands covered in paint, and I wonder why, because at some point during the excitement at the end of the painting I have took my gloves off and didn't even register that I had done that. Okay. These are other colours I like to use from the thrift store and cheap craft stores. These are my favourite colours. Right, so I would use 100ml of paint. Put the whole lot in the cup. I find using 100ml at a time a lot easier because I'm not measuring out constantly and wasting time, precious time that you would want to enjoy actually stirring and pouring. So because I use these paints every day, I do now use 100ml, and then I would use 50ml of the ACRYLIC. And give it a good stir. Very thick at the moment. Most of the time I add a little bit of water here. It's good to try a few consistencies yourself, one thick and one slightly runnier. If it drips like warm honey or melted ice cream, anywhere between those two, you know you have the consistency right. But it is up to you if you want a thicker consistency or a thinner one. They both give good results. And the only way to know this is to try both. So this time we will do the thick consistency. So I'm just going to add a small bit of water. Normally I do 100ml acrylic, 50ml ACRYLIC, 10ml water. That's why I use a jug, because then you can measure how much you've actually used on the mils and on the metric conversion on your jug. extremely thick, so I'm going to use the full 10. I do seem to tend to be slightly on the thinner side than the really thick side, so I'd be more melted ice cream than pouring warm honey kind of person. But I have tried. This time we're going for the thicker one. This is the thick pouring warm honey. Okay, and the next thing I would do is leave that to stand for a while before you add your silicone drop, 1 drop. And before you add that, I leave that for a little while, 5 minutes up over. Sometimes I've left it for an hour and it's been absolutely beautiful. I also have cloths at hand as well, and these go with my kit all put away together, because I just, wash them, dry them and reuse them, the same ones again. So that's my fluid painting kit in a nutshell. Okay, so if you'd like to follow the next link and see how I use these paints to pour, I'm going to use this one and a few others, and watch what happens on this very canvas here. So check out that link now. Take care for now. Take care, bye bye now.